Hey guys, it's Drew again. The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. That's a definition of a word that we're going to be discussing today and how it relates to a baseball card. A baseball card of two players, both their rookie card, both the same team, way back in 1941. Today, we're going to be talking about Kirby Higby and Pee Wee Reese and their juxtaposition on their 1941 double play. So let's check it out. Now, juxtaposition, it's one of those words that, I don't know, when you get to use it in normal conversation, it makes you feel smart, or at least it does to me. It's kind of like when someone says, oh man, they're really discombobulated. I'm like, oh, great word, I got to use that again. Well, we're talking about juxtaposition, and if you don't know what that means, and besides the definition I've already read, it's when two things are closely put together, but there's definitely a contrast, a tension between those two items. And we're going to be talking about that between two players. Now, we know who Pee Wee Reese is, and he was the shortstop, captain for the Brooklyn Dodgers, went on to become not only a World Series champion in 1955, but also, you know, a Hall of Famer. And there's been a lot to said about him. And of course, being one of my personal favorites that I love to collect. Higby started with the Chicago Cubs, and he was a pitcher, kind of a wild thrower, and he was very close to his southern roots. He was born and raised in South Carolina, and he actually didn't play a lot his first year because he got so homesick being so far away that he demanded to go back down to the minor league. There's a clip from the movie 42 that we've probably all seen maybe 100 times, and I'm going to replay it. If you're not sure who Kirby Higby was within that movie, I'm going to play this clip, and then you'll kind of come back. So let's go ahead and watch that.
I can't believe it. I speak my mind, and they trade me. This ain't the America I know. Home of the free, land of the brave. You hear me?
What are they sending you, Hig?
Pittsburgh. For cash and some Italian outfielder named John Frito. Pittsburgh. I mean, good luck, boys. You're gonna need it. Pittsburgh.
Now, that clip shows Higby and his frustration with Jackie Robinson becoming his teammate. And he was one of the players that was not only signed that petition, but years later when other players that were against Robinson making the team, they came out and they sort of recanted and they said, no, I didn't mean it, or that's not the way it meant, or I realized after getting to know Robinson that he was one of the players that could help the team, and I regret the way I felt, or I was just young, and they had these excuses or reasons, but they changed their beliefs. Higby, even up into an old man, stood by his word. He did not like to play with a colored person. He did not want a black on the team. He did not want an African American around him, and he stood up for what he believed in, to the point to where, as opposed to the video that we just saw, he demanded a trade. He didn't stand up and then say that Robinson goes. He said, you know what, you can trade me, and he did. And as you can see, he ended up going to Pittsburgh, and he had a decent career back and forth, but he was sort of troubled by himself. And it's interesting because I thought about this when I was looking at my cards, and I see the young faces of both the Pee Wee Reese and the Kirby Higby here. Both of them young. I mean, Higby was a few years older than Reese, but they're on the Dodgers. 1941, that was the year where they went to the World Series for the first time in decades, and they lost to the Yankees, which became more of a common thing later on. But Higby was one of their best pitchers in 1941. In fact, he led the team in wins that year, and Reese was this young, bright-eyed, you know, energetic shortstop coming up and making the team. But they didn't end up playing their careers altogether because of a personal stance, because of a personal belief of Kirby Higby and the way he felt about playing with someone of color, which honestly, as we look back now, probably wasn't the best move for him baseball-wise, but his legacy was just diminished from that. I find it interesting because, you know, I did a video a few weeks ago of the story of Pee Wee Reese coming up and putting his arm around Jackie Robinson and welcoming him into the team. And he's sort of the image, and while that story may or may not have happened, probably not exactly the way, definitely not the way it was shown in the movie 42, But the fact that he is known to be the person or one of the people to welcome Robinson in, to look beyond the color of his skin and see what he could be, not as a player, but as a person. And he accepted him. And now that's where his legacy resides, is how he took that possibly uncomfortable situation for him. He looked past his own thoughts and he went and he welcomed him in. Whereas Higby stood up for what he believed to the point to where he ended up demanding a trade and moving on. Anyway, I just thought the juxtaposition between these two players on the same rookie card was enough of a story to share it with you guys. So tell me what you think. Is there any other cards where you're kind of shocked that these two players ended up on the same card, modern, vintage, or whatever, or on the same team, or how they were related with each other and then ended up being so different as far as who they were as people? Let me know in the comments below. But I appreciate you taking this ride with me, looking at a couple of old baseball cards. But until next time, you guys be good.
Pittsburgh.